This is Connecting Our Community, and I am Christine Brookins. Today, I have the honor of speaking with the co-founder of Band Together Pittsburgh, John Vento. John, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me, Christine.
So to let our audience know, let's start with, what is Band Together Pittsburgh?
Well, the simple answer is that we are an organization that creates music programs for people on the autism spectrum. And that's a wide variety of things that we can chat about. But you know, the main goal is to simply use music as the conduit for social opportunities for folks that otherwise might not have them. And that's how it all happens.
And I think it's a wonderful, I had heard of Band Together Pittsburgh long before I had the pleasure of being able to be present for some of the performances. Mm-hmm. And the performances have blown me away, mm-hmm. not because it's people with disabilities, just the sheer talent.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I'm just thinking of multiple occasions on which I've had that honor.
Yeah, and performance is just a very small part of what we do, but that's probably the most visible part.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, Band Together, where did that name arise?
Well, I've been blessed through the years to be involved with music and to tie those musical efforts into charitable events.
Okay.
Starting all the way back to my first, in the mid-90s, I was involved with a group called the Businessmen, and we were just starting in music, and we weren't very good at that time, and we decided, well, if we did charity concerts, there wouldn't be many critics out there, right?
I love that.
Who's going to complain about a band that's playing for free and raising money for Children's Hospital or the Lupus Foundation or whoever it might be? So that's how it started. And then as the years went by and we continued to grow, not just me with the Businessmen, but other bands, other musicians, we started to create a musical family. I think it was around 2014 or so that I came up with the name Band Together Pittsburgh in order to form a 501c3 as an umbrella organization.
Okay.
For all of our charitable efforts.
I like that.
So it was going to be like a united way of rock and roll, right? And so I formed it. I had my guys design a logo. I did all the legal stuff, but didn't do anything past that because ironically, about that time, my band at that time, my current band called the Needs Hotel Band, we had a performance at Moondogs in Blawnox,
okay.
which is a blues club. And on that particular evening, I had invited 3 young musicians to sit in with the band at different points of the show.
I like that.
And, excuse me, they were great. I didn't tell the audience at that point that these 3 young men were all autistic or on the spectrum. And at the end of the evening, Moondog, the owner, came up to me and said, "That was pretty cool, those kids, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Well, here's a little secret. All 3 of them were on the autism spectrum. We had a drummer, a keyboard player, and a guitarist." And he was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, my son James is on the spectrum.
Okay.
And we need to do this more often." And I said, "Well, I've already got this thing called Band Together." And he said, "Well, if we focus it on autism and music, I'll join you as a partner."
Oh, that's awesome.
And that night is how it started.
I love it.
Yeah. Did I just go on too long with all that?
Not at all. It gives me a great history that I didn't know.
It was completely organic, grassroots. And those 3 young men, we talk to them all the time today and see them all the time.
So Moondog has a son with autism, so you had that personal connection.
Absolutely.
Let me ask this. The 3 men that were playing with your band that evening, how did that originate?
Well, family friends.
Okay.
So I will not bore you with, because there's stories with all this, but I met the first one, which was, I grew up in Pet Hills.
Okay.
And I ran across the family that I had known, and they were mentioning that their sister, I knew Michael and I knew Johnny, and they said, "Our sister Lisa has a son that's autistic. He's a drummer, but he doesn't really get much of a chance to jam or play with other musicians." And so I said, "Why don't you guys all come over on Sunday and have your mom make spaghetti dinner, and I'll get some musicians, and I have a studio, you know, and so that started that, and then those people told these other people that I knew, and long story short, we quickly had a connection
I love
of
it.
those three guys: keyboards, drums, and guitar. And all three of them are still playing today and doing great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's proof of inclusion works.
Inclusion works.
You didn't tell anyone up front, and realistically, the proof is nobody needed to be labeled.
No.
They were there as musicians. So I love that story.
Yeah, there was no need to label them, and there still is no need to label them. Now, again, these three guys, at the time, they were all teenagers. Now, where are we? 10, 11 years later, they're in their late 20s now,
Sure.
right? All three of them were accomplished musicians. And as you know, autism is a superpower.
Absolutely.
So there's a superpower. We have guys that are, you know, the whole birthday thing, you tell them your birthday. And, you know, April 7th, 1961, that was a Tuesday, Jack would say, and he's never wrong.
I understand it.
How does it happen? I don't know.
It's not what I can recall, but I know plenty of people that can do just that.
Unbelievable. Some through music. But I would say that the what we call the very experienced musicians, that's like a sliver of our group.
Sure.
The much wider group is about the interaction, the socialization, and using music to have fun and to make friends.
And don't we all need that, right?
We sure do.
So you said the performance is a small piece, and we started with
Yes.
you brought these young men in to perform.
Yes.
So let's talk about what else is it that Band Together does?
Well, from a standpoint of activities that we have, are foundational at least once a month, quite often more than once a month, are what we call our Band Together open mics.
Okay.
So have you been to an open mic at a bar
I
or a
have
club?
not. Those are
Okay.
not the performances I have seen.
But do you know what an open mic is?
It is.
Like, right. You go to a club, you sign up on a sheet of paper, and I'm going to play a song or sing a song, or karaoke, or play guitar, whatever it is. For us, it's the exact same thing.
Okay.
And we typically do those on a Sunday afternoon from 2 to 5 o'clock. Second Sunday of every month, we're in Blawnox at our clubhouse, which is the back room of Moondogs.
Okay.
And then in between, we have events. We were just in Irwin, PA last week. We will be at the Warhol Theater in January
Nice.
for a big open mic. And I would say that the primary activity at an autism-friendly open mic is karaoke,
Okay.
singing.
I understand it.
But we've got guys and gals that bring acoustic guitars. We have drums set up. We have keyboards set up. So that's our foundational program. That's where it all started. And it all started here at Steamworks 7, 8 years ago
Wow.
with the first open mic.
And for our audience, we are recording this at Steamworks Creative. I got the name right?
Yep, yep.
And we are in Gibsonia.
Yep.
So this is a wonderful venue for that type of thing that, like you said, the open mic, whether it is karaoke or performance with an instrument. So do the individuals that come to you to do the open mic, are they people that have maybe played or performed in the past? Or could this be, hey, let's try it out, this might be my first time? How does that work?
I'd say 20% have musical experience and 80% do not.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's a typical discussion. I'll get a phone call because my phone number's on the website. And, hi, my name is Debbie and my daughter. You know, tell us about this and what's it cost? And first, it costs nothing. Nothing. You just come.
No cost.
We have pizza. We have gluten-free pizza. We have cookies, gluten-free cookies, because gluten-free is important.
Yes.
Soft drinks. There's no cost at all. Come. Well, my daughter's not going to do anything, but she just wants to come and check it out. And I go, great. Just come and have fun and meet like-minded people with no judgment and a lot of love. And within about 15 seconds, all of a sudden, her daughter's running up to sign up. When can I sing a song?
I love it.
That happens time after time after time.
Okay.
The courage of these kids is unbelievable, right? And when I say kids, if you're 50 or under, you're a kid to me.
I'm with you.
All right.
I'm with you.
I shouldn't probably say kids, it might not be politically correct. But of our folks, now there is a percentage of people that come that don't step on the stage and perform at
Okay.
open mics. They just hang out.
Nice.
Yeah.
But as you said, judgment-free zone, come and enjoy the social aspect
Yeah.
of it.
No pressure at all.
And when you have these events, are all of the individuals someone who's diagnosed on the autism spectrum?
We don't qualify. I'd say most.
Okay.
You know, because we've had people call, well, my son's Down syndrome, and we're like, come.
Right.
You know, the reason, one of our moms said this best. We were in Harrisburg for the disability conference. And I hate that word disability. We say differently abled, but it was the disability conference of Pennsylvania. We were invited to speak. And that question came up. Well, you know, Band Together Pittsburgh, do you see yourself expanding beyond, you know, because we define it as autism friendly. And one of our moms said, the reason that we say autism friendly and we specify autism is because all of our volunteers and caregivers have expertise and experience in dealing with people on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
So that's their skill set, right, as parents and caregivers. Now, we have a couple of young people that have physical disabilities that
Okay.
come to our events. We have some with other ID situations. Everyone's welcome. We also welcome, quote, what do you call normal people? None of us are normal.
Neurotypical?
Okay, right. Is there anyone that's normal?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
I haven't found them.
So let's say neurotypical. We welcome, neurotypical, come and join us. Learn and see what's going on and be part of it. And go up and sing a song, you know, and meet our kids. But again, open mics is just one. It's a foundational program.
Sure.
But we do music therapy, drum circles with rhythm, DJ training, where we train our guys to be, and gals, to be DJs, and then we pay them to do gigs and events. What am I forgetting? All kinds of stuff.
Let's talk about some of that. So, open mic, we've had some conversation about, but DJ.
DJ.
So, I guess I am thinking, what does it take? I don't know. What does it take to be a DJ, and how do you do the training, and where do we take it from there?
Well, it takes some expertise in music, and it takes equipment.
Okay.
Right? And then you have to tie those two things together in training. So we have the licenses with the, you know, to get the music.
Okay.
And if you go on our website, bandtogetherpgh.org, you'll see a little button that says hire a DJ.
Okay.
And if you click on that, there's a questionnaire. You know, tell us about your event. Where is it? What's the date? What are the times? And so on. And what kind of music are you expecting? You know, we've done inner city events where the young people wanted hip hop music.
Okay.
From the extreme of senior care centers where they wanted Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra.
I like it.
Just like any other professional DJ.
Yes.
Training is by assignment or by appointment, if you will.
Okay.
If we have somebody that's interested, we would get them set up with some of our parents and caregivers. And we have some DJs that are on the spectrum that are high functioning and can help with the training. And then we have different sets of equipment. Right now we have 3 groups of DJs that go out and handle these requests. In the summer, it's quite active.
I imagine festivals and other events.
Festivals, benefits. The one thing we don't want to do is weddings.
You don't do weddings.
We
okay.
don't want. I don't do weddings. Did you see Mrs. Doubtfire,
I did.
the movie?
Yes.
I don't do weddings. I don't do dishes. I don't do this. I don't do that. Sorry. We're really not, as you know, a wedding is a whole different
Yes.
thing. We've done graduation parties. We've done car cruises, picnics, birthday parties, a lot of other charitable organizations, dances.
I can imagine school dances,
Sure.
organization dances, holiday parties.
Holiday parties,
love
Christmas
it.
parties. If you were having a fundraiser with your organization, we could come out and we could offer DJ music. We could even offer live performance. We just had an Easter Seals event where a couple of our guys, they're a duo. Patrick plays the keyboard and sings, and Joe sings, and they do a duet, and they perform for an hour and a half, live music.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, if only 20% of the individuals that come to you have a music background, talk about those that don't have the music background that come to you. Are any of those people folks that end up performing?
Oh, absolutely.
And how does
For
that
sure.
come to be?
So I'm so glad you asked the question, because everybody focuses on these great performers with experience and these magical voices. A couple of our kids sang the national anthem at the Pittsburgh Pirates, PNC Park.
That's awesome.
We have another young lady that sang the national anthem at the Penguin game.
Okay.
Again, that's this percentage.
Okay.
But to answer your question, live performance, there's so many opportunities. Give you an example. So we've been invited in January to go to a middle school in Fox Chapel, talk about Band Together Pittsburgh, and I'm going to bring one of our keyboard players and singers.
Okay.
Not too bad, making progress every day. Okay.
Right.
But the most important thing is the message that's delivered in this performance, more than trying to become Billy Joel or Elton John.
Okay.
So a lot
If they
of
show up, tell me.
Pardon me?
Billy and Elton. If they show up, tell me.
My wife gets the first phone call. You'll be second.
Thank you.
We went to Cleveland to see Billy Joel in September.
I too have had the honor of seeing him live.
Fabulous.
But if he shows up for Band Together, we're all in.
You got a deal.
We're all in.
So yeah, they developed to perform. Now again, you know, if we have, let's say that percentage again of very experienced musicians.
Okay.
Some with perfect pitch, some that have been playing instruments since they were 5 years old.
Okay.
Then we have this group that are performing, singing, playing, and then we have the other group that's just beginning to develop, and maybe they don't have any interest in performing, but they come to the events and have fun.
So you have folks that are learning to sing, learning to play instruments. You
Yes.
have, let me take kind of a step back on that, because for those individuals that come to you interested in learning, somebody has to be available to teach.
Correct.
So when we look at Band Together, do you have paid staff as part of Band Together?
No, I wish we did. Someday we will, hopefully. But we do have paid teachers.
Okay.
So we have a program. It's actually two-part. A lot of single moms in our world,
Yes, I understand.
unfortunately. A lot of single moms that are struggling to care for their children, to care for their family, to pay the bills. And we have a program, a scholarship program,
Okay.
where we will actually provide an instrument and the lessons for a student for free. Again, no charge. And we'll support that whole effort.
Okay.
And if the student sticks with it for a minimum of 1 year through the lessons and regularly practices and continues to show dedication,
Yes.
then we gift them the instrument,
That's huge.
whether that's keyboard, drums, guitars, whatever it is.
That's huge.
We also have families that thankfully have the financial resources. So there it just becomes a referral situation.
Okay.
My son needs to have voice lessons. We know who they should work with.
Okay.
Or my daughter wants to learn how to play the piano. Okay, here's the teachers we recommend. They all have state 33 and 34 clearances. They're experienced with working with people on the spectrum.
Okay.
So those are two paths that can be taken. But oh yeah, we have a group of teachers that we work with closely.
And if there's the financial need, Band Together can offset the cost of that.
Absolutely.
Otherwise,
And
you're
we
just
do.
referring for the
Correct.
appropriate teacher.
Yeah, and we don't go through this long qualification process. Look, it's a discussion, and maybe a single mom or say, we really can't afford a drum kit. And do you know anyone that maybe we could borrow one or we'll donate one? We've recently established a partnership with Farina Foundation, Farina, and these guys are wonderful. They collect used instruments. Together with Brighton Music, they refurbish them, and then they gift them to folks less fortunate.
That's amazing.
It doesn't have to be autism or anything. It could be an inner city school that needs saxophones and trumpets and stuff like that. We've also we've donated a bunch of instruments to them.
Okay.
Right now, I think we have about 12 students on our scholarship program.
And they're actively...
And you met George, our drummer.
I did. So I also...
He's our first student.
George, I know him from coaching him at Special Olympics.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I've heard George perform several times.
Oh, he's a rocker.
And from what I understand, he's just somebody that had the rhythm and it just needed
Well,
to come out.
I guess it'll soon be 4 years. Yuritsa brought George to one of our Christmas parties. We had
Okay.
never met them. And the whole time, George is just, so I went over to them and spent some time, and I said, you got a drummer on your hands. She went, that's all he does. He just drum. He just, well, maybe we can help him get started somehow. So we, at the time, and this is how the Lord works. Okay?
Absolutely.
I said, well, I'll tell you what, people donate things, and if I can find someone with a used drum kit, maybe we can, I said, do you mind, because I think they live in an apartment, and she's, no, I can have a small drum kit. It might have been 2 days later, I get a phone call out of the blue from somebody, no clue who they are. Hey, my name's so-and-so, and I've got this old drum kit looking to donate it to somebody.
Wow.
I'll be right there. So we get George set up with drums. And then, of course, we have Chris Bellin, who we all know, who's a fine drum teacher and a drummer in his own right. And away they go.
That's
and
awesome. George
has been working with Chris for over 3 years, 3.5 years. And George now plays with David Granati in his Rock Academy. He's playing with all kinds of other musicians. He now does hand percussion. He has played here at Steamworks with my acoustic group. He has played at the Pittsburgh Blues and Roots Festival with my band. And that's the other thing, the integration.
Absolutely.
Including them with, quote, neurotypical or old skilled musicians that have been around,
Well, let's be honest. Anybody has to learn something from somebody who's already been down the road.
Of course.
And whether that is someone on the spectrum or not, we all need teachers.
Yep.
So it's awesome that these individuals are learning their instruments, their craft, that they may not otherwise have the opportunity to do, and then the potential for performing just like any other musician.
There's a lot of, we create performance opportunities.
Sure.
But also, I mentioned earlier the drum circles.
Yes.
Drum circle is exactly what you think it would be. African hand drums with a bunch of people in a circle, led by professionals. Rhythm is a beautiful thing. It's a soothing thing. Our friend Jim Donovan, formerly of Rusted Root, now with Jim Donovan and the Sun King Warriors, who is a genius and a highly respected master at these kind of things. He got us started. We also work with other drum leaders, if you will.
Okay.
Within a couple weeks, we're having a drumnasium with Joffo Simmons, who is Joe Grishecki's drummer.
Okay.
And we're going to get a bunch of the kids in, and Joffo is going to give them with a drum kit, some lessons and talk about drumming and what it means to him. And, so there's, again, the music is the instrument to make the connection for social opportunity.
Well, and I
That's
do
what it
know
is.
of folks that, however they learn to share their art, whether it's visual, performing, whatever, starts as their means of communication.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine you're getting a lot of that with the folks that come to you through Band Together.
Oh, there's no question. Moondog likes to tell, we have nonverbal kids. Okay, they're nonverbal. And all of a sudden they'll turn around and say, hey, Moondog. I'll go, what? It's as if the music has created this beautiful energy and this source to feel, they feel so welcome. First of all, they're with their peers.
Yes.
Everyone knows there's no judgment. And the parents, people on the spectrum, they make noises, they run around, they bop up, they jump. One of my favorite stories, we were earlier this year, we had an open mic out in North Hills at the Mars School District Middle School.
Okay.
So again, we would come out to your neighborhood if there's a school or a community room that would like to have an event. And it doesn't cost any money. And this young boy, 10, 11 years old, would walk up to me, hit me real hard and run away. It's no big deal, right? That's behavior that we deal with. I guess his parents did not see this till like the third or fourth time. So he comes up, hits me, he runs away, and his poor mother's like, oh, she comes, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's cool, it's no big deal. And she said, well, for whatever it's worth, he only does that to people he likes.
Right?
I said, well then, thank you. I'm honored. The point being is we're so accepting of all these different behaviors because that's the world we're in with people on the spectrum, you know?
Well, and I do know, I can tell you, my son, you give him a microphone for karaoke and you'll hear something where if you sit him down to talk to him, you may not.
Perfect
so
example.
I know there are plenty of people out there, and some of them may have perfect pitch, that you just have to give them that opportunity.
Sure. Yeah, and we also have guys that are trained sound engineers that mix professional bands that are on the spectrum, and they go and do shows. And you know, our guy Justin, who's a board member now, he is mixing bands all over the city every weekend.
And probably with the best precision that you could ask.
He's requested.
Yes.
He's requested by touring acts. But Justin said something a couple years ago that really hit home because KDKA was here at Steamworks doing a story on, Channel 2 was doing a story on Band Together, and we had some of our kids here. And they said to Justin, you know, boy, you guys stand up in front of a crowd of people and you're not nervous, and the courage. And he said, for me, as someone on the spectrum, it's easier to stand in front of 5,000 people and sing a song than it is to have this one-on-one conversation. This makes me uncomfortable. Up there, I'm fine.
I love
You know?
that he was able to verbalize that and let people know
Yep.
what it's like for him.
Yep.
Because everybody has different
Yeah,
experiences.
Justin's very articulate, and he's one of our heroes in our organization, and he's a real blessing for Band Together.
I know that I have been able to be present for performances of folks that sang, folks that played keyboard, guitar, George on his drums, and the combination of George and Nathan together.
Nathan, that's our
singing.
rocker, man. He's got energy, showmanship.
He does. He loves being on stage and having a microphone.
Yep.
I've also been able to coach him in Special Olympics too.
We love Nathan.
So
Thank you for your work.
Oh,
I mean, you know, you've been passionate and have been so dedicated to this in the whole big arena, and maybe you deserve a little kudos. Maybe we should be interviewing you.
well, I appreciate that. I just find that no kid comes with an instruction manual, but for kids that have disabilities, there are unique circumstances. And when I find a resource, I want people to know. So now knowing you and Band Together and the resource that it really can be, not just for anyone who has a diagnosis on the spectrum, but for anyone that just wants to enjoy the accepting environment, the socialization, and music in any form. I think that's great.
and we've got or wants to come in and pitch in and be a volunteer and help us in different events, and it's a real fulfilling experience. It's a real blessing.
So you don't have employees. How many volunteers do you have?
Oh, yeah, on a regular basis, we probably have about 20 people that are very, very dedicated on, you know, our in our group. But we can tap into, you know, at the Blues Festival, which is our biggest event of the year, our biggest fundraiser. You know, we have 70 or 80 volunteers because that's a big weekend,
Okay.
Thursday through Sunday kind of thing.
That's a lot.
But a typical open mic, we have like 8 to 10 volunteers.
Okay.
But the activity level is growing so much that we need more and more people to help man these different events.
Well, hopefully people will hear this and we will get some more
get
of
in
those
touch
volunteers.
with us. We could use them.
And that is Band Together,
pgh.org. We also are proud to announce that we just launched a division in Erie, PA, or a branch, whatever we want to call it, with a great family up there. And then we have, for the past 2.5 years, have been in Columbus, Ohio, Central PA.
Nice.
With the same programs, the same model. We're not reinventing the wheel because we know it works grassroots with caregivers and families.
Absolutely.
That's the foundation for everything.
I love it. I can already see my son and his friends perhaps joining an open mic session.
Please.
And you also do a talent showcase, don't you?
Well, we do different things in that regard. We had launched what we called the Spectrum Talent Showcase.
Okay.
And it was going to be a filming kind of thing. So we'd have a guy like Matt come in, and they actually did it here at Steamworks. What we found out, though, is we didn't get that much participation because a lot of the parents and caregivers were filming their kids on the phones.
Sure.
So the idea wasn't to be a contest. It was to be like to create these really professional videos, like, you know, hey, I'm a star kind of thing, and get them on YouTube, and they could share them with their families. But frankly, we did not get the participation. So we ran that for about a year, and then we've stopped that.
Okay. Well, I think technology allows us to do a lot of DIY type things.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be the same quality as having a professional videographer and sound crew, but you have folks that can be the sound crew.
Yeah, we do.
So I think, you know,
we have folks that learn how to handle the stage and set up and break down and load the truck. You know, all aspects. Again, the music is simply the conduit
right.
to bring folks together.
Well, and what you're teaching them, that includes the vocational skills that these individuals could take to a job somewhere else. Maybe they're loading a truck that has nothing to do with music, but they've now learned how to do that.
That's correct. And to take instruction.
Yes.
To show up on time, to have a good positive attitude, right? All the basic elements of success. You know, we know those foundational qualities will lead to success. No matter who you are or where you are, if you follow those basics, you're going to do just fine.
I love it because it's so true.
Yeah.
And we're really talking about the inclusion and just tapping into the talent where it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's an incredible story. I really
and it's
appreciate
fun.
sharing it.
It's fun. You know, so many of our, I was going to say our kids again, but I must say our kids, even though they're in their 30s and 40s and they're teenagers and they're 8, 9. I mean, the age group is, right? But so many of our kids, the parents have told us, they've been in their bedrooms playing video games for years, never leaving that that stupid video game thing, okay?
Yeah.
Now they're actually interacting with other humans.
Right.
They have friends. They get together the day after Thanksgiving and go see a movie together. And then 2 weeks later, some of them go bowling. And then they come to the Band Together Pittsburgh open mic and they hang out and they're buddies. And they treat each other with respect and kindness. That's the magic.
It truly is magic.
That's why we exist.
So where do you see this going forward?
We're going to continue to grow, but we're going to grow only with the foundation of parents and caregivers.
Okay, that's fair.
As long as Moondog and I are involved, and I can speak for our board members currently, we don't want to grow for the sake of growing. We want to grow for the sake of affecting more lives in a beautiful way.
I love it.
Okay? That means that the basics can never, ever be compromised. I mentioned Erie, I mentioned Columbus, Pittsburgh. We've got folks in central PA that are kind of itchy to get a band together going. We're going to tread cautiously and slowly. We also have continued to grow the activity levels here in western PA. And it's a lot.
I'm quite sure it is.
It's a lot, especially with, quote, volunteer staff that we have.
Right. And you do rely on those volunteers to help you to set up events and run events.
And clean up and
things.
create the social media and communicate with people to make posters and RSVP and check the bank account and on and on and on.
Right.
I mean, it's a corporation, you know, it's without people being paid.
Right. Well,
So-
thank you for your heart and passion around it. And
I'm just a
thank you
small
to all the
part of it.
volunteers that do
Yes.
all the hard work.
That's the blessing, yep.
But I love that you started with a story of inclusion and you're helping so many people that can now be included in what they want to do and to share
Absolutely.
their art.
And we want to include more.
I love it. I love it. I really appreciate you sitting down with me. Is there anything more you would like our audience to know about Band Together?
No, I think, you know, I probably missed a bunch of things, but bandtogetherpgh.org tells the story.
Okay.
And it also has a list of all of our events. We have a great Christmas party coming up at the Monroeville Reclamation Community Center, and we're going to support them because they have a food pantry there for those in need.
Okay.
And we're asking all of our guests, even though our event is free, maybe they would consider bringing non-perishable food items to help. You know, it's
That would be great.
right, right. So, you know, I appreciate Matt and being here today and driving a long way to get this video together, and appreciate you and your interest, and Lisa for setting this up.
Yes. Lisa was...
She's a machine. Oh, God.
So Lisa's a mom of
She's
one
a
of
mom.
your musicians, right?
Lisa
but
is a
she had
mom.
helped when I was doing a fundraiser to get a couple of folks come out to perform, and she helped to connect both of us. And
Yep.
she's a volunteer and a mom, and that's what it
She's our,
takes.
quote, events coordinator, which means she does everything.
Yes,
Yeah, she's a
I
super
imagine
mom.
so.
And there's other, you know, we don't have time, but I could give you a list of 20 super moms that are so passionate and they work so hard for this effort.
And it is an effort. I know that it is. So it's very much appreciated, and I appreciate you sharing the story. Hopefully now we can get more people involved in Band Together, and to let our audience know that Band Together is a 501c3. So if you would like to support, please go to the website, bandtogetherpgh.org.
Yep.
Thank you, John, so much for joining
Thank
me
you.
today. Appreciate it.
Thank
you
you,
for hosting
Christine.
me here.
You're welcome.
Awesome.